The Bear Archery brand is basically a made in the USA type bow. We're very proud of the fact that they're made in the US. We want to be known as a US manufacturer. Our product is basically sold to US hunters. So it's a very important part of our business. And we think that Made in the USA stands for quite a bit, and we're very proud of making our bows in the US.
From the material that we're using, the aluminums, forgings, extrusions, to materials that are synthetic string materials and the resins and hardeners that we manufacture our limbs from. All of those components are made here in the US, and we employ 150 to 200 people during the year, and all of these are jobs for Americans, and it's important to us to maintain that stability in the American workforce and to be able to actually provide something to the consumers that is made in America, made from American products. Well, our best-selling bow is our Attitude bow. It's fast, it's lightweight, it's camouflaged, it's durable. Our newest product, which is our high-end flagship product, is our Agenda 6. It's 3.9 pounds. It shoots 350 foot per second. It's a hybrid cam system, synthetic string materials. It makes it one heck of a deal for the high-end technology type of user, and it's a sweet shooting bow.
Well, you know, the Fred Bear brand is basically a hunting bow brand. We are very proud of the fact that our bows are made for hunters, and we think that the models that we have today, especially this new Agenda 6 bow for 2014, is going to be very popular with hunters. We think that we have put something out there that people are really going to embrace.
Well, the process for making a bow here doesn't start with just buying raw materials. One, it starts with engineering. Oh, I forgot, no. It starts with the consumer. It starts with finding out what the consumer needs. So once we decide that we've understood what the consumer is asking for, then we go to the drawing board. Our engineering team, which has several individuals that use the most aided softwares and programs and testing techniques that are around, develop a product that is, ready for us to start manufacturing. Once that's developed, then we procure materials.
Here we are in the CNC department. We're showing you a forged blank. We start with this for our risers, like the Agenda and the Motive 6. This is a 12-foot bar, and it's a 5-inch width by 3/8. And we cut them up into machine links like this, and we'll make cams and idler wheels out of this type of material. And then here you have an extrusion that is a shape that we machine. Again, we'll cut it up into machine links, and then we'll machine the part out of it. And then here, lastly, we have some new material that has just come in that we're using that is a specific shape that we'll cut it up into machine links also and machine it to be a precision part that works on your new high-end Agenda bow. Okay, here we have the extrusion that we cut up on our saw. Started in 12-foot lengths, and now it's cut up into the machine link. And then what happens is, on this particular machine, we have a pallet changer, so we'll load the material on the pallet changer, and it'll cut side one. This is what side one looks like once it's completed. Everything on side one is cut. And then side two is loaded on this other fixture here like this, and it holds side one down, and then it cuts the cam complete and relieves all the material, and then you end up with a cam like this. And this is a total 3D cut cam. Here we have one of our forged blanks that I showed you over there, with how it comes in a big box, and this is forged out of a 6061 aluminum. Once it's forged and ready for the complete machine, we place it on the machine. And when it's on the machine, you see a flood of coolant, and that coolant keeps the tool cool. so that it doesn't get hot and doesn't push the aluminum around. It moves it and cuts it cleanly. And then you can see this still resembles the part that I showed you, the blank, but it has all these holes cut in it. But yet when I flip it over, you can see that there's been a tremendous amount of material that's been removed. We have radiuses, we have pockets that are cut in. You can see this is a nice smooth edge. Okay, now we're here on the second machine to finish this agenda riser. Actually, it won't be finished, but it'll be done all except for the fourth axis. And so this material that is left on this one side where your fingers are is side 2. So we'll load side 2 on the machine, which we have 2 positions of in there, down like this. And then once this is cut, once side 2 is done, then it looks like this. Side 2 has been completed on this riser. So now you don't have any of the excess left on either side. But still, some of our job is not done. We have some cutting to do in the grip area and some of the other areas where we need to adapt parts to. So once this part is ready, on the back we have a part that's loaded like this on the machine to do all those operations. That's operation 3. Once operation 3 is completed, then we have a riser that looks nearly completed, which is like this, where you can see this radius has been cut in the grip so that you can shoot off the keel or you can shoot with the grips and all the other stuff that's been machined. We have a slot that's cut in here that is good for the cable guard rod or the swing arm that we're going to put in here, and these slots to lighten up the handle. All right, now we've completed operations 1, 2, and 3, and we're on our last operation on a horizontal mill, fourth axis. Able to cut the bolt hole where the limb bolt will go in, where the cup attaches. It cuts these slots here where we put some dampening material. And we also cut and drill the hole for the stabilizer bushing, which we apply in there for stabilizers, and also the opposite end of the bolt hole here. And once this is done, then it's ready for tumbling out in our tumbling area.
And this is the Bear Archery tumbling, which is a deburring and polishing operation. All of our aluminum parts go through here before they get powder painted, also before they're anodized. We also run our glass limbs through here to get them ready for paint. So it's a pretty important area. Most everything that gets processed through the factory gets run through this department right here. This is our powder paint department. We take all of our parts that we're going to paint. In this case, it's risers right now. We run them through the powder paint booth and through our curing oven, back out again. You see he's plugging the holes that we don't want to have paint in there at the moment. The part goes around and through the paint booth. It takes a 20-minute cycle to go through the curing oven. The part comes back out. It gets unloaded and placed in a box to go to the production areas. This is our film dipping operation here, where we dip all of our parts that we're going to camouflage. We use this guide here to determine how much activator we're going to put in there so we don't waste film. And then once you spray the activator, it dips the part. It goes through a rinsing process. This is a Realtree film that we're using on this process. We use 3 different patterns. This happens to be the APG pattern that we're using right now. We also use one we call a Max 1, and we have a pink film that we use on our products, depending on what the application is.
Here we are in our Randsburg paint department, and parts are coming down out of the oven. They've been top coated with urethane, and we use an electrostatic painting system. This is our authority riser, and what happens is the parts are loaded on the line, they come through our conveyor here, and this disc moves up and down, and the disc spins at about 20,000 RPMs, atomizing the paint so that you get 360 coverage on it. All of our camouflage parts are top coated to protect the finish, and they actually make it good for hunting situations if you use DEET on your hands. Once they come into here, this is our tack room. All the parts that allows the volatiles to move out of the paint to remove blistering. It's a lightly elevated temperature. Then they go upstairs in an oven that's twice the size of this room. They spend about 3 hours on the line, And then once the parts start coming down right over here, they're dried, ready for assembly.